start every Thursday. That'd be today, from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m., sharing what you need to know, want to know, and have to know to help guide you to personal financial wellness. And that's what we've been doing now almost 3 years, Gino.
Yeah, and people say, well, why personal wellness? Why is that important, Don? And you and I can both vouch for the fact that our office has made a commitment to personal wellness, and it's affected our business careers.
I'm actually going to go look for a smaller space now. I don't need as much square footage now that our office has lost like 300 pounds.
Well, honestly, I got to tell you, it's saving us money every day, because about a year ago, I was looking into buying a really expensive chair, because it's really hard to sit in a chair for 14 hours a day and be over 300 pounds. So we never had to buy a new chair because I got lighter. It worked out.
Yeah, I like that. I like
Saved
that.
like $600.
Yeah, we always like to give a little shout out to our friends at Afterburn Fitness. They have changed our lives without a doubt, and our office is down, like I said, it's got to be 300-something pounds.
I would suspect that by the end of this challenge, if we added it all up, we'll probably hit the 400-pound mark.
Woo! That's some weightage.
Yep.
No doubt about it. All right, so let's get into our topics today, because we have two of our favorite expert guests. And we have a new one in the house. We're going to have to welcome Ryan Kiick. He's the president of Eureka Review and regional vice president for Princeton Review. And I could probably go on and on, but I don't have much more room on my page for you. Welcome aboard, Ryan.
Thank you. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
All right. It's such a treat having you here, buddy.
I appreciate it. I'm glad to be here.
And I say buddy because I've seen him and Robert Schwartz, who is with Eureka Review and our guest expert on a regular basis, is involved in, he put together his own scholarship charity fund, I should say, helping kids get scholarships, and he does it in a unique way where they need to put in some effort into it, actually work experience and so forth, and it's really unique. And Ryan is also on the board, which is really nice. Good job, by the way, Rob.
Oh, I appreciate it, gentlemen. It's an honor and a pleasure to be back in the vault. And speaking of the vault, that's where we keep all the money. Well, today we're going to find ways of getting money back into the hands of your listeners, especially if they're looking to pay for college.
Okay. Repeat that last line, because I think that's important.
We are going to put money back in your pocket so you can save a little extra, maybe for grad school, but certainly to pay for those first 4 years of college.
Very nice. That's Rob Schwartz with Eureka Review. You've heard him on our show a lot, and you'll hear him again, because he always has great topics, great information, and real information. What's really nice is I'm going to throw a little curveball at you guys, because recently I just had somebody ask me if we're going to have college planners on in our APRG group, America's Professional Resource Group, and I'm like, well, why do you ask? And they're like, I worked with these guys, and they just made me put money here and do money here. Basically, they're like, didn't do anything to help my kid. That was the bottom line. And I know you guys do help your children, help the children out there, that you do help the families. And I love that about you, because I do know you guys personally, and I know what you do for the children. And it's an integral part here, especially in Santa Cruz Valley. It is so networked and so tight that you need to be accountable, and I applaud you guys for being so accountable.
Appreciate that. Thank you. And you're right. Unfortunately, there's no barriers to entry for what we do, and there's so much mania around college admissions and paying for college these days. A lot of folks are trying to go into that consultation business, but it's important that there's experience. Rob and I both have 10 years in this business at least, so there's 20 years of experience sitting across the table that hopefully we can share with everybody.
Well, I'd put that 20 years experience against anyone who's been in the business even 2 to 3 times as long as you guys have. I know how much Rob studies. I know how much you guys study. You guys are masters. There's a difference. You can be in a business and be okay at it, just like our business. There's people that do 1 or 2 loans a month, and 10 deals a year, and they'll call themselves a mortgage planner. I'm sorry, you don't get a lot of experience working on a deal here or there. When we're processing 20 to 40 deals a month, you learn a lot, and you work with the best professionals, and therefore you even learn more. You guys are the same way. You're traveling all over the country, or mostly the state, right?
I actually do travel across the
country.
country.
I know you're always gone.
I'm on the road quite a bit. I just came back from Austin last night. Avoided all the winter travel nightmares. So
good for us, too.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, that's why I said it's such a treat having Ryan Kiick here, because he is always gone. You travel a lot, buddy. How much do you travel a year?
Oh, geez. Well, I'm on the road probably about 40% of my days. My working days are spent outside of this area.
That's dedication for you.
And I'm working with colleges and high schools throughout the country, and obviously.
Good thing you like what you do, huh?
Oh, I love it. I do. I love it. Sometimes you forget how much you love it, but you get those thank you emails from students along the way, and you realize why you got into it.
It's got to be real gratifying for you, isn't it?
It is.
Especially, I mean, having 2 companies now you're involved with that across the country, or 2 of I think the premier companies across the country, helping children out. Let's go into it. I'll let you guys explain a little bit more about what you guys do to help children with improving their opportunities. And I know you guys do it in a unique way, and that's why I'd rather have you guys explain again. I know we've had you on the show, Robert, but let's get into it a little bit more clarification for new listeners out there. And you want to hear this because this is imperative for either you, your children, your grandchildren, someone you know. I guarantee it in this little bubble of a community is trying to figure out how they're going to get their kid into college. And these 2 are going to help you with that. So Ryan, you want to start?
Absolutely.
We've heard Rob explain it 6 times.
And you're going to hear from him again. Believe me. He's always got something new, though, which is why we love it.
He does. We have great topics. You have 2 great topics, by the way, Rob. I love them.
Oh, we got fun coming. Don't you worry.
Okay.
Don't you worry.
Exactly. So, big picture, my work for Eureka Review as president is it's a smaller regional company. We focus on in-home consultation and tutoring for families. And our goal was to be really personal, get to know every student, and help give them the help they need to succeed. And actually, in those travels, I ended up connecting with the folks at Princeton Review. Ended up joining that team. Actually, they acquired my company.
Smart company.
Indeed. And mostly for the talent acquisition. I think we can agree.
Nice,
and Rob, right?
nice.
So,
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, and Princeton Review, it's great for me because the scope is so much larger, being able to reach and impact even more students than I ever could with Eureka, but without forgetting about Eureka's one-on-one attention locally, and that's where Rob comes in and the work he does with Eureka Review still. But our goals for today are to start laying some groundwork on things students could be doing, families of college-bound students could be doing to make sure this summer is planned appropriately, to look attractive to college admissions officers, gain some acceptances that maybe you weren't going to without our help, and then actually defray the cost a little bit. And that's where Rob's certainly going to follow up on some of the things I tackle.
Well, isn't that so important to ultimately, yes, we want to defray the cost, but one of the things that we've learned from having Rob on the show before is you really want to have maybe a wider net than you originally thought when you said, oh, my kid wants to go to this school or this school. There's so many other great schools. I think it was the last time you were on, you gave us an amazing list of schools, and I kept going, oh, that's a good school.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a good school, too.
Yeah,
I've heard of them.
Yeah. Nobody can question, the validity of these schools because you're like, oh, who knows what school that is. You're mentioning off Michigan State, Kansas State. I can go on and on. I mean, real well-known schools that you're like, huh. Didn't even think that. That'd be kind of good.
Yes, I think one of the things we've learned already is to cast a wider net, because the more options you have, the more opportunity, and and that's where I think you start to defray some of the costs.
I think you're going to find, and your audience is clearly going to start to pick up on this as they learn more about the opportunities that are out there. You don't have to be a 4-point-something student. You don't have to have a 2,200 SAT score to get into a good college. Good colleges are all across this great country. And all you have to do is be willing to generally travel a little bit, and you're going to find they're desperate for you. You're a decent student with decent scores. Not only will you get in, you're going to get paid to go. We lose sight of that in this country. There are way more seats than there are applicants.
That's something to be. You don't think about that. Everybody just says, I couldn't get into this college or that college. Well, of course, that there is challenges to go into, some of the Ivy Leagues and some of the top, state schools and so forth. But there are great schools, and I know, I wish I would have known that schools were desperate for me. That would have been kind of cool.
Knowing you and knowing the type of student you were, I guarantee it, there were schools that would fall over themselves to get you had you been able to do the research when you were a bit younger.
Yes, and my dad was pretty smart, though. I have to give him credit for that. He's like, there's a lot of great schools out there, but Cal State Northridge, right down the street, is a wonderful business school, which it is.
It is.
Is one of the best.
It absolutely
but
they have fantastic lodging right here at the home of Dad.
Exactly. And I wish, and that's one of the things I will throw out there. And I'm not a regretful person. I've had an amazing life, and will continue to. But only thing I am regretful for is not having a college life, because Cal State Northridge, great school, great education. I mean, they. Outstanding education, but I didn't get that college life, and what you bring up is these other opportunities that maybe a child can now have that college life and opportunities they didn't know about. Am I right?
Oh, undoubtedly true. There are so many great opportunities out there, and today you're going to learn about, well, one, how do I make myself a much better candidate? I know Ryan has a lot of information about that for your listeners who are in the 10th and 11th grade. And then we'll finish up today's show with a list of schools that they're going to knock your socks off. Some outstanding names you're very familiar with, that you have X GPA, you've got Y test scores, you get Z dollars. And that Z is a substantial number.
I like Z.
All right, I like that.
How cool is that? Okay, so you're going to want to stay tuned because, again, we're going to talk about how you can improve your opportunities. These guys are experts at it. They have some unique ways and some consultations on how to do that, and we're going to go in deep on that. And I love this list you brought. I mean, come on, a list that's going to define that if your GPA is this, if your SAT or ACT is this, this is the dollar amount basically you can get. And that's going to be really fun. I can't wait to go over that. Thanks for bringing that list, Rob.
Hey, I'm here to help, boys.
Yeah, you are. You are the list boy, but he's passionate about what he does, and so is Ryan. And Ryan, thank you for joining us again today. Please do not go away. We're going deep on these two subjects to help your children get into the college of their dreams. When we come back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show on your hometown station, AM 1220, KHTS, make sure you come back to us on donandgino.com.